Boy hadn't seen the sun for 10 years, sealed in a tunnel for 70 years, living a hard life on cockroaches every day. And just before 6 o'clock, the building where the tunnel is located is about to be blown up. The workers inside the building are being evacuated quickly, but Tom felt that there was still a place not checked, so he returned to the building to check the plans. Found that there should be a room here. Could it be that the drawing was wrong? Tom stepped on the floor. Came the sound of hollowing out. Then he stepped on it again, and directly to the ground dry a large hole. He did not expect the bottom is hollow. Tom and colleagues to the bottom, only to see that this place is the same as the sewer. Dim light, surrounded by dilapidated waste everywhere. The two continued to move forward, came to the end of they saw that the place was like a prison cell. Then they looked surprised, because they saw, in the corner was a pale child, huddled, like a monster. The scene shifts. FBI Booger took the 3 doctors to the children's hospital and met the pale boy. After investigation, we learned found that the boy was isolated from the world for 10 years. Insects and rats were the only things in the tunnel. They guessed that the boy was survived by insects and rats. Then the question arises, why was the boy in the tunnel? How long has he been alive? And who was he? From the time he was found, the boy didn't say a word. So as to where the boy came from, no one knows anything about the boy's origin. Just then, female doctor came, saying that the boy was having difficulty breathing. She was about to give the boy oxygen, but the doctor stopped her in a hurry and said that the boy had been in a low oxygen environment for a long time. Suddenly inhaled a large amount of oxygen. It is likely to cause shock. It was recommended that the oxygen level be lowered. Let the boy slowly adapt to the normal air. After the female doctor did as she was told, the boy slowly returned to normal. Several people observed the boy and speculated, due to a long period of time without sunlight, that's why the boy's skin is so pale. The boy often ate insects and rats. Nutrition is not balanced. The boy's hair follicles are abnormal. No hair growth? Mary comes up to him, gently asked the boy his name. Perhaps it was Mary's smile that reassured the boy. He took the pen from Mary's hand and wrote a line in his notebook. Gilmore. It's a name. What does it mean? The man in the wheelchair unaware that he is a psychopathic murderer. In the laundry room, also flirted with the girls posting so well. The girl then washed her clothes out of the laundromat ready to ride her bike home, just in time to see the man struggling to carry things. The girl kindly went over to help, but the man suddenly stood up, hand holding a syringe, and stabbed down. The scene shifted and the body of the girl appeared in the park, like a work of art, tied to a stone monument. Mary came to the scene and learns that the girl's name is Gilmore. This surprised Mary, because this is the same name that was written in the boy's book. It turns out that none of the girl's family members knew the boy. Does the boy have the power of precognition? On the other hand, Doctor thinks the boy should have come there long before the tunnel was closed. In other words, the boy has lived at least 70 years or more. This makes the boy's identity even more confusing. On the other hand, the killer is on the move again. He has set his sights on a girl walking her dog. In the children's hospital, Mary brings candy to the boy. The boy takes one and feeds it into Mary's mouth. Mary is happy and took out her book and pen and hoped that the boy would tell her his name. But just then, a man arrives and called Mary out into the hallway. He said that he was an employee of the social work office and would be taking the boy elsewhere for treatment tomorrow. The boy's eyes were fixed on the hallway, seemed to hear through the walls. He had heard Mary and the man talking. His blood pressure and heart rate suddenly rose, and a machine on the sidelines sounded a ticking alarm. Everyone rushed to the room. With Mary's reassurance, the boy returns to normal. Mary said she wanted to spend some time alone with the boy. The others left the room. The boy suddenly took a pen and wrote down the name of a place. Mary rushed to the place with her men. Checked carefully when he passed a car, but there was no sign of the car. The perverted murderer was holding the girl's mouth. The boy had the power of foreknowledge that, when the girl's body was found, it was already nighttime. Her body was located in the church. The body was surrounded by candles. A colleague told Mary the address that the boy had given. Shortly after their search, the girl's dog appeared, indicating that the girl was nearby at the time, but they didn't find it. But the good news is, there was blood in the girl's nail caps. It could be the killer's. Mary took Jack to the doctor's house overnight. Tell the doctor, the boy could sense the killer. He writes down the name for the first time, indicating that Gilmore was going to be killed. The second time he wrote down the name of the place. It meant that the killer was there. Perhaps the boy's precognitive powers could be used to catch the killer. So the next day, the doctor took the boy to a private research room. The doctor invented a device to listen to brain waves, hoping to find the killer by listening to the boy's brainwaves. But the FBI Bruce and the man come to the door. The man says he is not from the social work division, but an agent of the intelligence bureau. He is Bruce's boss. He has the right to take the boy. To stall for time, Mary stated the boy was helping them find the killer. When the killer is found, she would voluntarily hand over the boy. Bruce also helps to plead for mercy. The agents promised to give them only one day. The hospital sent in the lab report. The blood under the victim's fingernails was not human blood. It was cow's blood. This means that the killer spent time in a place that could be stained with cow blood. Jack suddenly remembered. There's a food processing plant in town. Specially processed beef, The killer could have been there. Mary then went to the factory to investigate. The owner said a customer came in yesterday and sold him some packaging materials. This person should be the murderer. Mary then drew a portrait of the murderer according to the owner's description. The boy again wrote down the name of a place. Then Mary led a team to block the place. The cars that came and went were checked one by one. In the examination of man, Mary found that the man looked exactly like the portrait, and then found the car pendant. The boy had been posing with candy. Then it was determined that this was the killer. The man also knew that he was exposed. He drove away. Mary shot him twice. The man was so scared that he crashed into the wall. He got out of the car and fled. Finally, the killer was subdued by Mary. Finally, the little boy was secretly taken away by Mary. FBI Bruce helped to cover up. The intelligence agents learned that there was nothing they could do, and on the way to drive away, the little boy saw a man on the side of the road. Like himself, it means that there are many more of his kind in this world. He is not alone.